Hello and welcome to the program, which will start with what's shaping up to be a hot election issue, and that's water. While most of us are doing our best to conserve the precious resource and making all sorts of sacrifices, it seems at least one major South Australian project's making a mockery of the state government's water-saving sanctions. Adelaide's Northern Expressway soaking up millions and millions of litres from an aquifer when recycled water was offered at a low cost from the start. Paul Macon investigates.
You can see one filling up, one will come back through and fill up, then another one, and it's never ending.
We offered water which is of low price, good quality, in the right location, but the contractor chose not to use it.
I've always believed that water was something that was for everybody, for us to share. I mean, constitutionally it says that.
We're in touchy territory here, on the construction site of the Northeastern Freeway. And what's happening out here is likely to shock every South Australian watching tonight.
It's disgusting, and that affects people out here what are left of our food bowl.
The massive $564 million Northern Expressway, jointly funded by the South Australian and Commonwealth governments, is a very thirsty beast indeed.
This new Northern Expressway that is taking the water, simple as that, taking as much as they like.
The only reason we knew how much water was coming out of the bore systems were how the dams were filled up. If they were too low, well, that's how much we've used, so we've got to start pumping more.
Fulton Hogan are the New Zealand contractors building this expressway, using mostly Victorian workers. They've come across the border to show us how to build a road and show us how to get our water dirt cheap.
Each tanker carries a large quantity of water. We have 50,000 litre tankers, we have 30,000 litre tankers. 3 or 4 per site, filling up 10, 11, maybe 12 times a day. It's a lot of water. We're talking vicinities of between 30 and 50 million litres of water a week.
Independent candidate for the upper house, Mark Aldridge, lives out here, and he's been watching the passing parade of water trucks filling up from bores sunk into the steadily declining aquifer.
Well, this pipe here is going straight into our aquifers. It's a bore pipe. This is your power cord here, and this is just sucking water out unmetered as much as they like.
The water must be metered if it's taken from the aquifer.
There is currently a moratorium on taking water out of the aquifer, unless you have an existing licence. Now, the road builders may have grabbed a few with the acquisition of property out this way, but as we've been told, they must account for the quantity they use.
A lot of water all the time.
Tess Goals has been working on the expressway project, and she's seen plenty. Where was the water coming from?
Bore systems placed all along the entire expressway. Everyone just sort of helped themselves to it.
But the contractors didn't have to take this precious resource from an already fragile ecosystem.
We currently have approximately 5 gigalitres of water available for alternative uses.
According to Colin Pittman, the contractors were offered a deal by the City of Salisbury to supply all the water they needed through the council's innovative water conservation and recycling program.
We made a commercial offer to the company concerned. The company decided otherwise, and we found out later that they actually they've been consuming water from the native groundwater sources in the area. We were disappointed.
We've learnt that over the 2 years of this project, the contractors have used around 750 million litres of water. We know Fulton Hogan have purchased 18 million litres of reclaimed water from Bolivar through the Virginia pipeline. But that still leaves 730 million litres that's come out of the aquifer.
They walk away from the whole job. If they've done any destruction, doesn't matter, as long as their pockets are full.
Most people in the community would agree this is one area from an environmental and social aspect we ought to be doing something about.
Bob Seifert from the Civil Contractors Federation admits the highway heavies will always find the cheapest source of water.
They will do what is necessary to get them to win the tender by and large. You can't blame them. If the government said, well, we want you to have a social environment of conscience on this, and we'll consider it seriously in the tender, then our people will take it a lot more serious.
And we hope they do before it's too late.
The danger, of course, has been realised over many years, and it shows that the aquifer has been oversubscribed. There's been quotas put on the aquifer, and in fact there's no more licences being issued in the area.
And the aquifer is not the only victim here. According to young Tess, working on the project has left her shattered, with the 22-year-old claiming she should never have been allowed to drive some of the heavy machinery.
I drove a 50-tonne dump truck on work experience and then 14-tonne rollers for the next year after that.
Have you got a licence?
Only an L on my car licence. Oh, and a ticket for my roller.
She also finds herself in a catch-22 with her employment. Still under a 2-year contract to work on the expressway, but not being paid, she is not allowed to claim welfare benefits, leaving her almost broke.
I'm classed as being permanent full-time, hired in a contract. Centrelink won't touch me. I'm not eligible for free food parcels from charities. I've been homeless enough times in my life already. I thought I'd finally worked my life out and thought I could get somewhere. And
while Tess is sad about her own dilemma, the Adelaide Plains irrigators and the public deserve answers over this unbridled guzzling, to say nothing of the householders under threat for using more than a trickle.
Our production of food out here is quite large in Virginia and surrounding areas, and people now can't access water because the water's disappearing, and people will be wondering why.
An insider told us today the contractors, unlike the farmers, are exempt from metering the bore pump water that they are taking. But try as we may, we have not been able to get any clear answers to our simple questions from the government or the contractors. Who's paying for this water? And why are the contractors not required to use the recycled water on offer? Has a cosy deal been done?
The state government had no respect for our water resources for a long time, from my point of view. The state government needed to be held accountable for this. They would have been well aware of the amount of water needed to supply an infrastructure project like this, and they have just been ignorant.
Well, at least some good news late today. Tess was released from her contract and will be financially compensated.